Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our final Ninja Skill Booster for 2024. Cut the Christmas Overwhelm. It's a wonderful topic. We've been running this one in the Christmas period or in the lead up to the holidays for the last few years. And it is a really important one to think about, this idea of how do we make it to the holidays without falling in a big heap and being absolutely exhausted as we lead into our very well-earned rest if we are able to take a break. And if you aren't able to take much of a break, some of the tips and tools I'll share with you today will hopefully help you at least kind of manage some of that overwhelm and have some rest as we move forward. So let's get into the session. My name is Julie. For those that haven't met me before, I am a ninja here at Think Productive. Please feel free to grab a screenshot, keep in touch with us. We love talking about this stuff. So if you need help, support, you need help with your team, we are here to make sure that you are doing okay and that you can harness some of the ninja skills that we often talk about in our sessions to help you with cutting through the overwhelm, reducing stress, getting more productive, feeling great, having a good sense of well-being, because that's equally important. If we want to be productive, we need to take good care of ourselves, and I'll talk a little bit about that today. I have popped into the chat box. Please feel free. I'm going to keep posting it. Please grab the cheat sheet that I'm going to share with you as we go through the session today. It's a really good one. Just download that and it will guide you through the session today. Here at Think Productive, we love to help everyone love Mondays. Sounds crazy, but we think it's true and it's possible. This idea of being able to harness the tools, the techniques, the things that help our brains to do the work more easily so that we can have this great sense of well-being and that we can make sure that we are really balancing things out a little bit. I forgot to say, welcome everybody to country. I am on dark Injun land today on the Central Coast north of Sydney. Welcome to everyone from all over Australia. I know we have quite a few. Happy Tuesday there, Jane. Wonderful, lovely. Thank you for having us. Thank you for joining us, I should say, Jane. I know you are a very big regular ninja on our session, so welcome. And yes, please keep in touch with us, as I mentioned. And let us help you get to that place where we love Mondays. We look forward to coming back into work. That is what we're looking for as we move through these sessions. So today I'm going to focus in on harnessing our ninjas. How do we harness our key ninja skills to help us shine? We'll also do some prep. This is interesting. I'm going to get you to do some prep today. Lots of action in today's session for you to do is preparing and planning for January when we come back into the office. Now that sounds crazy, but the more planning and thinking we can do now, the easier it will be when we return to the office. And I'm also going to get you to prepare and think about, what does a restful break look like for you? So we're going to focus in on those things. Please download that cheat sheet. Once again, popping it into the chat box. Greetings. Thank you, Sam, and Sujata. Welcome everybody. Thank you so much for saying good morning. Lovely to have you here. Yes, so these are the three key things I'm going to get into. Three key things today. Grab the cheat sheet, but grab paper. If you don't have the cheat sheet downloaded, pen and paper is going to help you out today. Okay, here's a quick reminder. Here are our 9 ninjas. For those that have attended our sessions before, we do get newbies coming in, 2 people that have never experienced ninja before, who get invited by others. Feel free, by the way, to invite your teams to these sessions. It's really valuable to join along. But these are the 9 key ninja characteristics, the things, the tips, the tools, the processes, the systems that we can employ to help us to be more productive and get a better sense of balance and well-being. Today, I'm going to focus on 3 key ninjas. I'm going to focus in on our Zen Like Calm ninja and some of the tools and techniques that we share there. We'll also talk a little bit about mindfulness and preparedness. Lots of preparedness today. I must say, we're going to do most of our session is going to be lots of preparing to have a break, preparing to finish the year well. So let's get into some detail. Our very first ninja is about Zen Like Calm. It's one of these things that when we are feeling really overwhelmed, when everything seems crazy, you've got so much to do before I get to the end of the year, there is just, how am I going to get everything done? We need to employ some techniques, okay? And the first one is our Zen Like Calm ninja. This idea of stopping, just stop. When everything is going crazy, we need to stop and give ourselves the opportunity to breathe. I'm going to talk about breathing in a little bit too, but taking some big deep breaths and doing what we call boss thinking. For those that haven't experienced this before, this is a phrase coined by a gentleman called Peter Drucker back in the 1950s. He was a pioneer in management philosophy. And he talks about the need for everybody, whatever your role in any organization, that we need two styles of thinking. We need the worker mode thinking when we're doing things, but we need, most importantly, our boss thinking brain. We need this style of thinking that helps us to plan, organize, prioritize, and pick the right things to focus on. So this is really critical, this boss thinking, this principle. So today I'm going to get you to do lots of boss thinking. Okay, this is something that we need to practice and do it every day, and it helps with that worker mode. Often what happens when we're overwhelmed, when we're stressed, when we've got so much on, we just keep going with the working. We just keep going frantically from one thing to the next, whatever shouts the loudest, and we don't pause to take a step back and do some boss thinking. So the first little exercise I'm going to get you to do today, you'll see this on the top of our little ninja cheat sheet. When your brain is feeling like this, when you are feeling so overwhelmed and there is just stuff all over your head, then it's really important to stop and do what we call a brain dump. A brain dump is where we get everything out. We don't censor ourselves, we just write. We get everything out of our head so that we can figure out what's there. We can start to organize, prioritize. As I mentioned, doing that boss thinking is key. And today I'm going to get you to do a brain dump in a little bit of a different way. So most people will know that when we start this process off, when we do these sessions, we actually do just a big brain dump. We don't censor, we just put everything out on paper. Today, though, on your cheat sheet, you'll see at the very top there, I'm going to get you to do this in two parts so that we're starting to kind of organize these things. I'm going to get you to make sure you think about all the work stuff. What have I got to do before I finish up before Christmas? Okay, what are the things that need to be done? Maybe some of that stuff can be reprioritized to next year, but initially we just need to get it out. Okay, so we're going to do a brain dump of work stuff, and we're going to do the brain dump. I want to push you to think about the home and the personal stuff too. What have I got to organize before Christmas? What have I got to organize before we all catch up with the family? Yeah, because we often plan very, very well and organize for our home stuff, our work stuff, but not so much for our home and personal. So we're going to do a 3-minute brain dump. I'm going to set a timer and I'm going to get you to do 3 minutes of focusing on these two areas. Grab some paper, grab little sticky notes if you can. I've just grabbed mine this morning and started writing things down. Do a 3-minute brain dump. I'm going to set the timer starting now, and just get everything out of your head. Whatever is in there, just let it come out, and then we can start to figure out what to do with it. All right, 3-minute timer has started. I'm going to put myself on mute. I will just check the messages in the message box though. If you have anything, just let me know. But yes, 3 minutes, ready, set, go. Just 1 more minute. of brain dumping. Try not to hold back, just let everything come out. Okay. I would love to know in the chat box, how was that? What came out for you? How much stuff came out? If you are feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling there's just so much going on, this is a really useful exercise because it helps us a lot. Debbie says, yes, a lot came out. Quite therapeutic, Jane. Yes, I love that aspect of this. This can be a little overwhelming to start with, but once we start to get everything out, we can see what's there and we can start to get more organized and planned. Yeah, too much, Kerry, more than expected. Need more than 3 minutes. Keep going with this, Melinda. After the session, use this technique. Use this to help you get everything out. And then we can start to put it in what we call our second brain. We've talked about that a lot before. We won't cover the second brain today, but this idea of somewhere to put all this. It could be onto your to-do list, some of those. It could be that some of it gets literally parked until next year because actually I don't need to do that now. That is for later. And we can start to figure out, what about the home stuff? Yeah, lots of work stuff and home stuff, Jennifer's saying, seems overwhelming, but listing is good because then we can start figuring out, yeah, what to do with it. Wonderful. A lot there. Brilliant. Awesome. I'm going to keep sharing a few techniques which will help with this so that we can figure out what to do next. Okay. One of the most important techniques, I often say, this is the number one technique that literally revolutionized my productivity when I first experienced Productivity Ninja as a participant. And I learned this stuff from Matt, who says hi, by the way. Matt couldn't make it today, but he will is wishing you all Merry Christmas and will be here next year. Doing your daily boot up. This is a really, really key little technique. This 5 or 10 minutes of boss thinking every single morning to kick off our day. Do this until Christmas. I promise you, this will help you to make it to Christmas, to that break time. It will help you to get there with some sense of calm, this idea of being prepared and organized for the day. So doing your daily boot up, you've got a copy of this on the Ninja cheat sheet, so please have a look at that. And this will really help you to say, pick the right things. Yeah, there's a useful little bit here, this idea of using this to tackle the big stuff. What is essential to be done before my break? What's not so essential? What can I park? What could I delegate? What can I delete completely? There might be stuff that we're holding on to that we don't even need to worry about. It's just a niggle. Yeah? Get rid of those things. Don't worry about those. The most important thing here is the Pareto principle we've talked about, the 80-20 rule, is focusing on the 20% of the things that are going to make a big difference. And letting the other 80%, I often call those the rats and mice, the little bits that really don't make much difference, leave them. Focus in on the boss thinking, on the big stuff. So please use your daily boot up. It literally takes 5 or 10 minutes, start of the day, even if you only give yourself 5 minutes, okay? Doing this will really help you to then make sure that the work that you choose to do during the day is the meaningful stuff, it's the impactful stuff. So doing your daily boot up, that's our tip number 2. Okay, make sure we do that one. Awesome. The cheat sheet, I'm going to put, America, I'm going to put it back in the chat box for you again. You can just click on that little link and it will get you the download. Beautiful. Tip 3. Now this may sound strange, but there's a very good reason for doing this. I would love for you to, if you have your computer in front of you, if you have your laptop or your desktop in front of you, and you can access your Outlook calendar, please go into your Outlook, if that's what you're using or whatever platform you're using, and get your out of office ready now, okay? We're not turning it on right now, okay? If you've still got a couple of weeks left in the office, that's all good, but we want to prepare for this now. By doing this, I'm going to get you to start thinking about, okay, what is my last day? When am I going to stop processing my inbox? And when am I going to look at it again? Can I actually lock that time out now and know that it's coming up? You'll be amazed at how much this changes the way our brain is going to process information. So I'm going to get you to do this. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to just drop into your Outlook and have a look at this. Have a look at, apologies, skipping forward, 2 minutes to go in and have a look at your, I can't get to the chat box for some reason. That's really weird. Okay, that's all good. Going to do your Outlook, out of office message. So this will be in your settings, depending on whether you're on desktop or web version. You'll need to just access your settings and look for automated messages, and you'll be able to set up your out of office. You don't need to turn it on, but you can actually put those time zones in your Outlook. You can put activate on this date, first day out of the office, and turn off when I get back to the office. This is a really useful little tool. So please do that now. I will just pause again and I will set a timer, and I will let you do your out of office now. Think about what rules you're going to apply in the out of office as you're writing it. Am I going to say I will check my emails periodically while I'm away? Please don't do that if you can possibly help it. But say you will process emails when you return to the office on this date. In the meantime, emergencies, think about, do you have an emergency contact when everyone is away, if it's needed? And remember, for most of us, we are not brain surgeons, we are not emergency services, we are not needing to do this every single day while we're out of the office. Yeah, we don't need to check emails. Okay, I'm going to give you 1 minute now because I've talked over some of that time, but please have a go at that. Just set your out of office, set it up so it's ready to go. Lovely. Okay, I'm just going to check messages. Oh, Jennifer, great. You've started doing your daily top 5. Beautiful. And you did it yesterday, Maya. Wonderful. That daily boot up is awesome. Okay. So just a little bit longer to do this. Set up your out of office now. This helps us to start thinking about the break that we're going to have. Jane done. Beautiful. Fabulous. Wonderful. Okay, just a few more seconds and then we're going to have a look at our diary. So stay in your, if you have your Outlook there, please keep that handy. Okay. I'm going to move on because otherwise we're going to run out of time this morning. There's so much good stuff here. I would love for you to have a think about, what does your diary look like for January? This is again our preparedness ninja. Done, Kerry, awesome, and Daniel, wonderful. Lovely to see you both. What does my diary look like for January? Again, doing some boss thinking now is really key. I would recommend the first day you're back in the office, block out some time now so that you have time to come in and do some more boss thinking, maybe another brain dump, some organization. We can look at our emails then and start processing, get back to zero, get that inbox under control after the holidays. Doing this now, setting time in your diary, ready to go, is just invaluable. I said 3 minutes, I might give you 2 because I do want to keep going on this one. So in your cheat sheet, there's a section there just to remind you to think about this. If you need to scribble some notes down, then that is in the tip 4 section at the bottom left corner of the sheet. Is there anything for January you need to remember to plan for? Okay, pop that into your little notes now. Nikki's saying, yeah, already starting to fill in the first few weeks of January. Yeah. Oh, you've got 5 birthdays in America in January. See, all of ours are before Christmas. I've just had the really busy run up. My grandson yesterday turned 3, which was very exciting. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple more minutes. Do some planning. What does the diary look like for January? Here's a really interesting thought. What about blocking out 15 minutes every morning, first thing, to do your boss thinking and do your daily boot up? Did you plan for that from when you come back in January? Make space. Give yourself some calm to come back to. It's a really useful thing to do. Just a few more seconds on that one. making space. I would love to know if any of you have managed to find Nikki saying about it, a 3-hour planning catch-up focus time for the first day back. Yes, awesome work, Nikki. That's brilliant. Once we start doing this, once we start thinking ahead and planning and organizing for the return to work, it means that we can start to switch off. We can start to feel more in control and have a break, a real rest when we get into our holiday period. Okay, just a few more seconds on that one. I'll leave that space for you to do some more planning. Lovely. Okay, hopefully, fingers crossed, the stress and overwhelm is starting to subside as we do this planning and organizing. Now, tip number 5, be mindful. This is our mindfulness ninja. I would really love for you to think about being mindful as you head towards the holiday period. Am I taking care of myself? Am I taking care of my team and those around me? Are we being kind to each other? You know, we're pretty passionate about kind. We've been talking about that for the last couple of months over our Ninja Skill Boosters. And one of the most important things to do is to think about, sorry, that's not working for me. Why is that not working? Here we go. Breathing. I know that sounds crazy, but breathing is critical. We have talked about this in a few Ninja Skill Boosters in the past, but I want to reiterate this. When everything feels crazy, hopefully we're feeling a little less crazy after our planning session this morning, but when we're feeling really overwhelmed, stopping the amygdala, that little reptile brain we talk about, the little lizard brain that tends to run away with things for us and gets the adrenaline and the cortisol running in our system. It's very hard to do good boss thinking and good planning when we are in that zone. But by breathing, by stopping and actually letting ourselves just breathe for a little while, particularly the diaphragmatic breathing we talk about, taking the big deep breaths, pushing out our diaphragm, what that does is it stops the amygdala in its tracks. It resets the stress response and it switches back on our prefrontal cortex. And we need this thinking brain more than ever when we're getting overwhelmed. Okay, so doing these big deep breaths to help us with the thinking is really important. So do some breathing. This is really key. Maybe even I actually have a little alert that I can put on my watch, and it will just remind me, dunk, breathing. Are you breathing at the moment? Rather than just going, I'm stressed. Yeah, it just reminds us. So find a little reminder that you can use. Now, I did throw in a bonus tip in the mindfulness zone, and I would love to spend a few minutes with you here. I would love for you to think about, and pop this in the chat box, okay? I would love, write it down for yourself because you need to remember it, but do pop it in the chat box if you can. Take a moment to think about what a restful break looks like for you. What does that look like? Often we make such a haste to rush towards the holidays. We haven't even thought about what we're going to do to create a restful zone. Yeah, being in nature, Jane, lots of exercise, Daniel. Wonderful. If you can, diarise it now. Put it on your list. Write it down. I'm going to do this on my break. Being near the ocean, Robin, yes, definitely after my own heart, being near the ocean. Reading a book in the garden, a couple of days by the water, beautiful. Sleeping in every day, yes. Oh, look at all those wonderful things you're going to do. Okay, if you haven't already planned those things, again, it's so important to plan these things into our lives, into the time that we are taking away. And it may seem crazy because we might want to be more spontaneous and not be so organized, but unless we write it down, unless we make it a plan to get that happening, it's not actually going to happen in our diary. Yeah, we won't make space for it. No housework, Joanne. I love it. Spending time with the family, exercise and chilling out, Joanne. Yes, beautiful. So many cool things there. Okay, we are pretty much at the end of the session. I would love to know, I'm just going to pause, if you could give me a score from 0 to 10 of how overwhelmed you were feeling when we started the session to how you might be feeling now on a score of 0 to 10. Can you give me those two numbers in the chat box? I would love to know. where you were, 10 being high, maybe 0 being the lowest, completely calm. I'd love to know where you are now. 8 to 4, awesome, Maya. Abby's maybe come down a little bit. Daniel's still at 5. Jennifer, 10 to 7, awesome. 10 to 8, coming down a bit. Beautiful, 7 to 4s, 8 to 5s, 8 to 5s. Awesome. Wonderful. Hannah was already a 1 to 2, so not stressed at all. Beautiful. Oh, Emelina, you were an 88. That might have been a typo, but an 88 to a 4 would be a massive improvement. That is wonderful. Okay, so we have talked about which ninjas to harness. Please focus on those ninjas, yeah? The Zen Like Calm, doing our boss thinking, making sure that we are spending time preparing. Preparedness ninja is the big one, and staying mindful. These 3 ninjas are going to help you get to Christmas, get to that break, and start the new year feeling so much calmer. Now, if you would like some more magic, when we get back in the new year on the 21st of January, I'm going to pop this link in the chat box in a second. We will be having our Kickstart the New Year. So please feel free to join us for that one. It's going to be a great 30 minutes. Again, there'll be a little cheat sheet which will help set you up for the new year. This is a really great one. Would love to see you then. Also, in the new year, just some exciting news. We have our 6 Weeks to Ninja program kicking off on the 6th of February. And we have 2 brand new workshops. We've already launched the Thriving Teams in Tricky Times. We've been running some of these sessions and it's been going fabulously well. Absolutely loving doing this one. And also Cracking the Engagement Puzzle is coming. So that's going to be a beautiful one for you to jump into. So please let us know if we can be of any assistance.